Alright guys, in this video we are going to talk about how to design a type scale for your upcoming UX projects so that your designers and developers from the rest of the team can collaborate with you and they find it very much easier to start on or hop into the project. So without further delay, let's drop the intro. Before starting this video, if you guys are new here, my name is Shamridha Das and I am professional graphic designer, video editor and UI UX designer. In this channel, we talk about designing tips, tricks and tutorials. So if you are into it, then consider subscribing to my channel. It's completely free of cost. And also if you want to follow along, I have given the Figma files link in the description area. So you can grab the link from there and completely follow along yourself. So without further delay, let's jump into the Figma screen. Alright guys, so this is what you are seeing right now is actually the HCI guidelines designed by Apple developers for you to actually find it very much easy to design the type scale for their onboard systems. So Google also have their material M3 design guidelines, so I will actually put both the links down in the description area so that you can grab these resources for yourself. So in this link, if you scroll down, you will be able to see the specifications of the font, so you can directly click on here to go here and it will actually give you the specifications of iPadOS, macOS, iOS, everything. So if you actually see this particular dynamic type sizes for iOS, you will be able to see that there are small, extra small, medium, large, extra large, default, all these kinds of various groups or tabs of the font type scales that we actually use for the Apple applications. So if you click on this large default, you will be able to see that all the different kinds of large title 1, 2, 3, headline, body, callout, subhead are mentioned here along with their weight, their preferred weight and along with their actual size in pixels. So the font size actually matters here a lot. So if we quickly grab a screenshot of it and put it in Figma, then you will be able to see that everything here is mentioned accordingly. So what is basically type scale? Type scale is a type of typography guidelines. So type scale is a type of typography guidelines which is actually set up directly in the Figma document so that other designers in your company can actually directly join in your project while making the design system. And also these type scales are very easy to use for normal consumers and also for developers who are actually making their application, because we use a definitive type of typography. So suppose if you have a little bit knowledge of website development, you will know that we use certain presets known as H1, H2, H3, P1, P2, P3. So you can actually select this everything. You can actually configure this H1, H2, H3 in the development guidelines so that they actually follow along with your particular design system that you are using in your Figma application. So this sounds super nerdy, but I hope it's helpful after watching this video. Okay, so as you can see, let me write something. So let me use the same Satoshi font and let me give a dummy content. So let's give type scale. So right now we are able to see that for the large iOS devices, for the large title, 34 is used. So let's make it 34. And this is how the font looks. Now also remember that font looks something different and also the font height is something different. So how to select the font height? So now the question arises, how to determine the line height of a particular type scale. So in order to do that, you can actually understand that whenever your type scale is going above 24-ish level, the type is getting a little bit bigger, and in order for font styles which are actually more than 24-ish, you can actually use a simple formula for that. So whatever the font size, you can multiply it by 1.618 and that will give you the approximate line height, and then you can actually convert it to a nearby even number. So let me show you how to do it. So here as you can see, the font size is actually 34 and here the line height is actually changing accordingly. So let me create like this: 34 into 1.618 equal to 55. So it's 55, so just round it off and make it 56. So that is the nearest even number. So 56 is currently the line height for this particular type scale. And also let's take a duplicate of it and let's make it like this. So now for the title one, the font size is 28, so let's make it 28. And again the same rule, 28 into 1.618, so that nearly comes around 45. We can approximately make it 46. So that is how the type scale or line height of this particular type scale is coming as 46. Let's make it 22. So now remember that 22 is actually something which is lesser than the 24-ish mark. So for this we also have a separate thumb rule where the formula gets little bit modified and we can actually multiply it by 1.3 instead of 1.618. So let's do it like that. So let's multiply 22 into 1.3 and it's coming as 28.6. So let's keep it 28. So this is the type line height of this particular type scale. And also let's duplicate it one more time. Let's make it 20 now. Again let's make it 20 into 1.3. So now it's coming as 26 exactly. So that's perfectly fine. And now when your typography or when your font size is actually going below 20, you can actually use a little bit modified formula. So I know it's getting pretty nerdy, but the modified formula is 1.2. So you can actually multiply the font size of your particular type scale to 1.2 in order to achieve the desired outcome. So here let's make it 17 and let's multiply it by 1.2. So it's coming as 20. So let's make it 20. Similarly for 16, 15, 13, 12 and 11. So let's make it for 15 and also let's make it into 1.2. So right now as you can see I have made the entire type scale and it is perfectly balanced. So if we increase the size within them, so this is the gapping and this is how it actually looks. So also now what the font we are using is actually known as SF Pro. So according to SF Pro, this is the desired kind of type scale that we should go for and what our developers should also follow. But this should not be the same when it comes to some other kind of font. Maybe it's a sans serif font like Fog 2, or maybe it's a serif font like Product Sans. Then the thing will actually shift a little bit, but for now it's pretty much good to go. So now let's call out the font that we are using. So right now as you can see we have called out the exact font that we have used, which is known as Satoshi, and also we have used the type scale accordingly. So let's just write down the specifications of this type scale like this. So right now we have called down every specification of the particular type scale that we are going to use. Now let's actually name them according to the style that we are going to use for our future reference. So let's name them like this. So now as you can see, we have called them exactly how they are supposed to be used in our textual styles. So now let's make a textual style for this. So let's take a duplicate of these here, because I don't want my type scale to get delocated when we are using the textual styles, and let's make it like this. So let's hold down this type scale, first one. Let's click on these 4 boxes and let's generate a text style out of this. So in order for that to happen, let's select down this type scale text and let's make a text style out of it. So let's click on these 4 boxes, let's click on plus and let's name it accordingly. So large title, and let's tap on create style. Similarly, we can do this for other words as well. So I will just simply turn out the fast forward of this video with the help of editing in order to make this process simpler. So now we have actually named them exactly like this. So now see the magic. If we create a frame, and now if we want to make a design, so let's see how quickly we can do this. We can click on this T button, we can click on somewhere, and then we can actually click on the title or style that we're going to use. So let's write technology app. At this point of time, I'm not able to think about a better name, and now in order to do so, if you can click it on here, let's make a line and let's make few cards like this. So as you can see, if I again click on the text button, then I will be able to see the titles. So let's click the title and let's make it title 1. So we can make something like this, and the best thing is that we never use any kinds of weight in these kinds of type scales. So if we find that this weight is actually not looking good, so we can actually directly click on this and we can edit the type scale, and then we can make it bold or black, or even we can go for light, something like that. So we can make it accordingly. So this is what it happens. If we change one instance, the entire instance is going to change. Similarly, if we are making for other styles like subhead or something like that, card sorting, then everything you will be able to change it accordingly. So if I make multiple instances of it, and if I edit one instance, then all the other instances will also be edited. So this is how we actually use the type scale. See, in the previous video I actually made a color style guide, so you will be able to see that if you change the color style guide or if you include the color style guide, it is something that we actually use when the design is already ready, and when the design is already made, few of the visual design screens is already made, then we select a color style guide. But for this, for type scale, it is different in the senses that we actually set up the type scale previously, and then as we are moving forward in the design, we use the type scale, edit it and use it for the further screens. So that is the main difference between type scales and color styles. Rest you can use everything by using the color styles, text styles, anything. You can create styles accordingly and use it for the entire app. This actually gives you the flexibility that when any new developer or designer is actually coming to your project, then it actually makes it a whole lot easy for that designer or developer to just go here and see all these specifications from here. Like as you can see, the large title 34 by 36 is given as that. So that is actually a naming convention. So you actually name it large title, and 34 is the font size and 56 is actually the line height. So that are the two most important properties of a type scale, and that's how we actually make one type scale. So I hope that you found this video interesting. This is not actually as much encouraging video like my other videos where I basically explain everything about the design role, but this is something which gets more into the technological part of design. So I hope you found this video a little bit interesting and also a very welcome change to the channel. So like that, we will again make another part of this design system. So this is actually a second episode of a design system tutorial. You can actually go back to the first video. So there I actually taught how to use color styles for your design system. Here I taught how to use text styles in your design system. Next I will be teaching how to use variants and components in your design system. So that is how this video is actually everlasting. The series is actually everlasting. So guys, that's it for today's video. I will link all the resources in the description area, and if you find something interesting, then you can obviously follow along with this video. So guys, there you have it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Till then, stay creative, and I hope to see you in my next video.